Hi, so today I will be talking about something rather personal on today's vlog. So I have been diagnosed with depersonalization derealization disorder, and it develops as a coping mechanism for trauma. Now, I'm not going to get into today what exactly has traumatized me and caused me to develop this. But I am going to say that this is something that has been affecting my life for a very long time, and it's something that I have to work through daily. Sometimes it's not as bad as other times. So it's not that every day I'm having an episode, but if I run into something that's going to cause me to have an episode, or remind me of something that's going to trigger an episode, I personally have about an onset about a couple days, so it takes some time. But the entire time, I'm aware of what's going on, but I just feel like shit. Like, I don't belong in my life. I don't belong on this planet. The people around me don't like me. Everyone hates me. I'm not really in this life. Like, my marriage just doesn't seem to connect with me. A whole bunch of things. And this video will explain a little bit better. This is like me in the middle of a derealization episode. And so I thought I would film this as part of it. But I just wanted to, before we get in the video, talk really quickly kind of about some of the symptoms and kind of like an overview of depersonalization derealization disorder. So essentially you have kind of like a feeling like you're observing yourself from outside of your body. Or like a sense around you that things are not real. Like maybe you're, like the best way I can describe that is like the way that you feel when you're playing a video game and you're like, well, that's not real. Well, imagine that from the point of like if you were playing those characters in that video game yourself, instead of having a controller and having your own cognitive mind, that was you, is that character in that video game was you. And you're thinking to yourself, this just doesn't seem real, like kind of like displaced, like you're living in a dream, kind of like when you are moving through a dream. For those of you that know what it's like to go through dreams. It will never completely go away, although there's types of therapy you can get for that as well. It can make it hard at work. It can make it hard in my relationships with other people. Some of the symptoms, recurrent episode of depersonalization. It causes distress, problems functioning, coping, and just living your daily life. You're aware that you're detached from reality when you're going through a depersonalization derealization episode. You are aware that you are detached. This makes it pretty unique. There are a lot of dissociative disorders that you do not realize that you are having an episode when you're having one, but this is the one. Depersonalization is the one that you definitely know. Everyone's totally aware that they're having an episode of it. And so some of the symptoms are kind of like you feel like you're an outside observer on your thoughts and your feelings, your body, your parts of your life, things that are happening, kind of like you're either floating in air or maybe just kind of like elevated. You know, you're like experiencing things outside of your normal way of experiencing things. So kind of like your body is doing one thing, but you just totally don't feel connected to those thoughts or feelings or actions that your body's doing. It's like you're a robot You're not in control of what's going on. It's not like you try to move your mouth and nothing comes out, but just like, it just feels kind of like you're removed from everything in your life by a little bit. You know, you're just like kind of like not quite fully in your body. And the best way is almost like if somebody were to take your soul and just kind of like lift it barely from your body. That's what it feels like. Just like it's like you're right there at the edge of like being you and being able to connect with who you really are and who you identify as. You get really numb and you kind of start to have some issues with how you communicate to and respond to the world around you. Your memories, how you're feeling starts to kind of lack emotion. Like you want to connect to your emotions sometimes, but you just feel like you can't reach them. I've had that feeling. Feeling alienated, unfamiliar by your surroundings, by the people around you. Like you're living in a movie or a dream. Or my favorite one is that sometimes if I'm going through this episode and I've been around friends, I will just feel like maybe they don't really want me around. Like I'm not really seen as being a good friend or a good person, and I don't connect with those people on a one-on-one level. Like I have trouble socializing in that way. Sometimes your surroundings can become blurry and colorless. For me personally, I don't have that level of derealization, but my feelings and how I relate to things that have happened in my life and things in my life during one of these episodes is drastically detached from those things that have happened, almost as if like I am in a movie. And honestly, like it makes the reality of things around me seem different than they are in reality. You can kind of get apathetic or apathic, however you say it. When you go through these episodes, you stop being in connection with your feelings, so you can kind of experience that kind of apathy. Honestly, everyone's got their own triggers. I try not to I try to understand why that's happening every time. And I'm just that kind of person, really, is every time I have anything happening in my life, whether I'm going through an episode or not, I am trying to understand everything in life. And so when I'm going through one of these episodes, I'm starkly aware of why I'm feeling the way I am. I know it's a Depersonalization Derealization episode. I know that I am removed from the reality of the situation, which is, the reality is always drastically different from my view in that moment. So for the most part, I know my friends really care about me. I know my family loves me. But in these moments of derealization, depersonalization, it becomes difficult for me to connect with the fact that my friends really want to be friends with me, or that my family really wants to be around me, or really wants me to be a part of their family. And that can sometimes be very hard, but it's a very complicated coping mechanism. Often it affects my memory in the sense of remembering tasks if I've got a lot of things. There's been times in my life when I go into an episode and I had something important to say or do, and I totally spaced it completely. And some of those things I've never remembered. There was something I was going to say or do, and I still to the day don't remember what I was supposed to say, but I know, and the thing that I do remember is that I forgot something that I was supposed to say, and that was important for me to say, and I have still to this day no idea what I should have said in those times. But I remember all those times specifically that I had something to say and forgot about it. You kind of experience to a level of depression, and anxiety as well. Anxiety can get really, really bad when you're going through this, because you kind of almost, because you're not connected with your body, you don't feel comfortable with anything. So it can create a lot of sense of hopelessness, and a sense of loneliness, and a sense of kind of like abandonedness, like you feel that you are separate from everyone else. And it's just like, it's really difficult. Me personally, I kind of alternate between depression and derealization episodes. Sometimes depression will trigger the derealization episode. So for me, I'm not in a derealization or depression all the time, but if something causes me to have depression, I could go into an episode of derealization, depersonalization, derealization disorder episode. That was just a tongue twister right there. And sometimes I will be going into an episode for other reasons, and then that will trigger depression. But normally I do not have them at the same time. Sometimes it's one causes the other to happen and vice versa, but I never have them both at the same time. I'm never depressed and derealizing, disassociating, I'm just going to say disassociating, at the same time. But it can be hard to accept things that are happening in life and to love and be happy with some of the things happening in my life when that's so pervasive. But I really just wanted to kind of show what one of these episodes looks like. I've seen some other more popular YouTubers do it to kind of show like what their derealization is like while they're going through an episode. So this is an episode that I filmed in hopes that I can raise awareness, I guess, and kind of create a little bit more understanding of it. This is just my personal experience with it, so without further ado, I know this is a very long intro. Please enjoy the rest of the video. Well, don't enjoy it too much. I am going through mental disability, but continue watching anyway. Hi, I thought I would take this opportunity to log. I'm kind of going through an episode of depersonalization right now. I feel like all my friends hate me, and I feel like they really just like look at me and they're like, why are you the way you are? Like, today my friends were like, oh, you don't like the new Star Wars, like, what's the matter with you, like, why not? And like, normally like me and my friends talk about this kind of stuff, and it's just like kind of like to each their own at the end of the conversation, but I felt very judged over not liking the new Star Wars. And trust me, like, of course, like, if I liked the new Star Wars, I would just like it. I was hoping that I would like it, and I gave it every chance. I've watched all of the Star Wars that's been out so far. I don't want to see Solo. I don't want to see those things, you know? So, for me, there's a lot of lack of good writing. And normally we would talk about these things, me and my friends would talk about these kinds of things. But today it just feels like I'm crap because I don't like Star Wars. But it's not them. They're not the ones that are making me feel like I'm the problem because I don't like Star Wars. It's just me disassociating. It's me being depressed and just unable to connect with what they think about me, what they truly, genuinely think about me. I just feel like I don't fit in my own life. Like I don't have purpose. Like I literally have nothing. I'm not important, and just there's no place for me in my own life, and that's so stupid because it's that's not really true, and I know it's not true. But it just feels like that. Feels like my friends are just judging me over the smallest little things, and I'm just going over everything I'm doing and have done in the past 48 hours, actually. It's been going on for a couple days, and just overthinking about how I seem or appear to my friends because I can't connect with who I am or why people would think I am a worthy friend. Excuse me. It's so hard. I just feel why? How do I even fit? This seems like someone else's life right now. My life is terrible. I've got some issues I'm trying to solve. I need a job, I'm trying to get my foot in the door. Volunteering so that I can do my job, but excuse me, I'm really tired. It's not the end of the world, I have a roof over my head, my animals are fed, and my husband is working and he loves me, and we're trying for a baby, and I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I just feel none of that's my life. Where is my life? What is really my life? That's kind of what I feel like, and it's super weird to hear myself say that. I just don't know. I'm super aware of my feelings, but they're not really. It's not like normal depression where I'm just in pain all the time. It's just kind of like a depression and anxiety forced situation in my head where it's I'm now not good enough because I don't have a job and I don't have this and that, and even if I did have a job, it's a period of time where I would just be consistently worried about what customers thought of me or what people around me thought of me, or if I was doing a good job, and that I'll probably not be that person that they want me to be. And for a lot of people, that, people think that that's normal to think sometimes when you have low confidence, but for me it's not low confidence. For me it's legitly just legitly me disconnecting from how I'm viewed by other people, and who I am and what I do is really seen by people. Just kind of feel totally disconnected from myself, from my marriage, from my life. I feel just totally just disassociated and out of it. And it sucks. And so this is what depersonalization disorder is like. You're just like, you don't connect to your life, you don't connect to who you are, you're disconnecting from yourself, like you just don't feel like yourself, and that's what I feel like. I feel not like myself. I feel like things are complicated. I feel very disconnected. So I just wanted to like share that. It's May 25th, and yeah, it's pretty hard. I'm just doing nothing but yawning in this video. I'm obviously tired, but yeah, it has nothing to do with tiredness. I'm just have been feeling that way for a couple days. What triggered it is I went back to my college, and I've been out of college for a month, but I went back to get my degree, which I'm really super excited about that I've got that. But I went back to get my degree, and I was at the college for a little while messing around with one of my friends, and I just was like, that security blanket is gone. Like, it was something that was consistent, you know? Even if it's not meant to be a permanent thing, it was consistent for a very long time. And then second on top of that is that it was kind of a bit of resentment. Like, when I went back there, you know, it was resentment because I wanted to have that security blanket back, but at the same time, I can't just sit there and get degree after degree. I will never get to where I'm trying to go if I'm doing that. And then I just kept thinking about, like, how am I going to get my foot in the door? How am I going to get experience and stuff like that? And I did everything that I knew that I could to try to look for volunteer opportunities so that I could get some experience. And now here I am, just like, been disassociated for 2 days. I haven't applied to any jobs this week, and I was supposed to, but I really just felt like totally like crap. Just like, why? Like, everything I do is gonna be wrong, so why? Yeah, I don't know, it's just like I'm having an episode. But it's not fun. It sucks. It's painful, and it really drives a wedge, you know. I can't connect to Louis in the same way, so it kind of drives a wedge there. It makes me really down about myself, and it makes me really unconfident in a lot of ways, because it's like, when these things are going on, I don't know how to justify or define who I am, like, because I can't connect with it, which just really, really sucks. And I don't like it, and I wish that I don't know, I just wish that I didn't have this problem, but it's probably going to be around for a really long time. It's kind of just the way, I guess, which sucks, but it is what it is. Alright, well, I will talk to you later, and don't be afraid to break the mold. So as you can see, it's very difficult to know what's real and what's not. and you really do create problems that may not actually be there. This is not always true. There's times when I'm just pissed off or irritated or someone has really hurt my feelings. Those times are so much different than times when I'm going through one of these, because one of these, this is like everything's good, nothing bad's happened, no one's questioned anything, no one's gotten into a fight with me or anything. These just come out of literally nowhere. They're just time periods where, out of nowhere, all of a sudden I'm worried about if my friends actually want me around them or not, or if they just accept me around because I'm there, because I put myself there. And it's just like, it's been so hard in my life to deal with this and not know what it was, to just deal with this depersonalization derealization stuff has been very difficult. When I first met my husband, I dealt with it quite a lot. I had a lot of apathy episodes, but I really was not sure what was going on or why I was acting this way, or really what it meant. I have a heightened sense of empathy, and it was a little bit shocking for me. All of a sudden I was having a heightened sense of apathy, and I was not sure what that meant. And it's been a long journey for me trying to figure out that I have depersonalization derealization. I always want to flip them. But it's been a very long journey through college, learning about what it is, getting diagnosed with it, talking through some of those episodes, talking through some of those things has been interesting. I did talk to a counselor for a little while I was in college, and I currently don't have a counselor or a psychologist or anything like that, although I would like to go back to one eventually. There's other things going on in my life currently, so I probably will go back to one soon, just because things are just, there's a lot I have to deal with that is just hard for me to deal with. Like, so far we've pretty much been trying a whole year. It's November 11th during this time that I'm filling this intro and outro, and honestly, I am kind of disappointed at this period in time, because December is right around the corner, which will mark our year of TTC, and I don't get to finish out my last month, it's looking like, because my period is currently 12 days late, and I took a test just recently and it said that it was negative, and that was a week after I had missed my period. So I literally just took one on Friday, so I'm kind of disappointed that I don't get that opportunity to have one last attempt for the year. It's stressful for both me and my husband, but it's just part of our journey. I don't know what any of this looks like, but maybe I will get an opportunity within December to try, and then if nothing happens in December, then we will go back to the doctor and we'll have a reevaluation and see, get some things checked out to see what's going on, and maybe we can figure out if there's any way to help the process along, or whatever, maybe figure out maybe there's something blocking it, or there's just lack of production or lack of healthy sperm count or something like that, scar tissue, or PCOS, it's not PCOS, that's a different thing, okay, gosh, no, POS, or something strange that I never knew about myself, or that my husband never knew about himself. We don't know at this period in time And that is kind of one of the triggers for this, is just it makes it really hard not to know what's next. And so we're going to keep chugging along straight up till Christmas time and everything like that. Keep doing videos and stuff like that. We haven't even gotten there. I'm trying so hard, so hard to get all of the videos that I have recorded, totally done and up by New Year's. That's my goal, so that I can finally start to make the content that I want in the way that I want. Right now it's just diaries pretty much, and that's what I'm going with. So we're so close, and I am just working my butt off to try to figure all this out. So thank you for watching, and if you are interested in more videos, please like and subscribe.